estão todos? Espero que vocês estejam ótimos nesse final de semana. Vai começar amanhã, né? E hoje tem reunião às 7 horas da noite, daqui mais ou menos uma hora, com o Dr. Bezerra de Menezes. Quem estiver precisando, entre no seu quarto, fique em oração, pedindo o que você precisa para Deus, para o seu anjo da guarda, para o Cristo, para a corrente médica do Dr. Bezerra de Menezes. E hoje nós vamos continuar. Sorry, today is in English, this live. Today have a reunion, all Thursday have a reunion, not more at 8 p.m. in Brazil, but at 7 p.m. in Brazil. If you need someone, ask in your room in prayer to God, to Jesus Christ, to medic current from Dr. Bezerra de Menezes, that to you receive what you need, okay? And today I will make the live about alcoholism that I made. You can see in my posts. The last post I made was in Portuguese. Now I will make in English to finish this, okay? And this test about alcoholism from Spirit Ramatis finished today. This means that I post all things they said in his book, Physiology of the Soul, okay? About alcoholism is only this that have there. But you can read the book and make a translation, because don't have a translation of this book, of no one book. I don't know if have. I think it's not have translation from these books. Then continue those tests that have in it. I think you have more or less 20 lives about alcoholism. Have others about smoking and have others about meat. Meat I don't finish still. And then when I finish today alcoholism, I will try to finish to what Ramatis said about eat meat. Alcoholism question. Law from sensitive Ercílio Maes making this question to Spirit Ramatis. Law. So there is no possibility that a noble spirit incarnate as the son of alcoholics. So there is no possibility. We know some cases out here of alcoholic parents who achieved the descent of an intelligent son and very balanced in his moral formation. Ramatis answered to Ercílio Maes. Exceptional cases in which a good spirit and great friend or sympathizer of the degenerate family decides to incarnate in his bosom, so that in the experimental world of the flesh can guide it to higher goals. That is why sometimes it's possible to identify an angelical soul that as a tender, intelligent, and ruled daughter or son descends from a degenerate and vicious family. In this case, the sidereal technicians personally intervene and surround the high entity with all the comfort and protection to which it's entitled to be incarnated. For how much it does not weigh on his shoulders the guilt of being born into a family that gives itself to toxic alcoholics. And if the embryo is straightened with being injured, the sidereal technique has multiple resources to prevent this from happening. Then the development of the fetus will then be shaped on the very influence of the perispirit of the incarnate, which, due to its advanced spiritual energy, dissociates and carbonizes all pernicious astraline substances. The simple fact of a high entity connecting to the womb of the degenerate mothers calms their desire to drink alcohol and even to intern them. Other question: how do you explain the certain peaceful and well-intentioned men, when under the action of alcohol, become hostile, irritable, and violent beings? Shouldn't alcohol only excite the emotional field of the individual without modifying his psychic patterns, already consolidated up to that moment? All this is a question. Answered by Ramatis. How many times in countless creatures that don't get drunk and moreover are peaceful, virtuous, and shy completely deny themselves when they hurt their self-love, or if they cause them moral damage. This well demonstrates that both the qualities and the defects of the spirit don't show the flower of the skin, but reveal themselves according to the favorable or unfavorable circumstances that may occur to them in the exchange of human relations. Only spirits of a Francis of Assisi, Jesus of Nazareth, or Teresina of Jesus can really show the sincere and natural reality of their souls. In general, the individual is still a great concealer of his psychic reality, and very rare is a man who knows himself. When the spirit dives into the flesh, his psyche exacerbates the ancestral impulses of the past, of his lower animal formation from the past, while the physical body becomes revealing of the hiding structure of passions and vices that have accumulated in the psychic baggage preserved since past millennia. As As a result, the glandular and regulatory system of physical metabolism suffers the continuous whipping of souls that are too impulsive, irritable, and prey to high psychic tensions, giving away to the appearance of hyperthyroid or neurotic types, greatly harmed by the lack of control of the vague sympathetic. The physical organism is similar to the cinematography screen because it reveals with a wealth of details the hiding life of healthy psychism, despite all the care that the soul exerts to avoid the ridicule and censorship of others. It's our image. We protect this. But the alcohol will liberate this. And sometimes it's a dangerous what we have inside us still. Without alcoholism, maybe this would happen. Ultimately, in TV, I saw various cases in São Paulo from accidents. People out of the street, the car up on the passage of people, and that people not in the street, but in view of people walk. Totally alcoholic. Others kill the woman that led them. Kill the horrible ways. Only provoked by alcoholism or excess of alcohol. When people return his parties in middle of the night. Hence, then the transformation that takes place in the drunk, whose morbid mind case to the frequency of the irrational, in whose vibratory range only the disorder, impulses of cholera, obscenity, cynicism, stubbornness, or physiological degradation dominate. And hence also the very common fact of men who during alcohol abstinence are peaceful and attentive, get drunk and beat up wives and children, and doing long friendships because alcoholics, the floodgates of their dangerous psyche open the contained with a lot of effort during the time of controlled consciousness. So vanity, pride, selfishness, envy, hatred, lust, cruelty, and cynicism are shown, which prejudices moral impediments of society or fears of warnings. The daily press of your world can prove to you that the dangerous incidents of such events and emergencies of the oppressive psychic, when the floodgates of human conventions break under the nefarious action of alcohol, making external perception surface the psychic content that is still hiding in the intimacy of the animalized man. If we have this heritage from the past, long past, but are inside us, it's better don't use alcohol a lot until you don't have more notion of your conscience and start to liberate these dangers of the so far past. We must learn to control our instincts, animal instincts, because we're not more an irrational being. We will answer by our discontrolled. Never how an animal. And don't think you can run to be an animal again, because this don't will happen. Sorry. One time you transform in a human being, don't have more back. Don't have. Then we must stop to think that animals are perfect. No, they are perfect how an animal, but not perfect in evolution. They will evolve until transforming those energy in human being energy. A lot of cycles and centuries will pass to this, but we live it a lot of centuries how an animal, because this we have this memory inside us. Commonly, facilitating the emergency of the memory of tragic events, which the light of consciousness disturbed. Commonly, the consanguineous ties that constitute the family in the figure of the fathers, children, brothers or sisters are nothing more than just old adversaries you will remember with alcoholism, high alcoholism, that are thus greater for the karmic adjustment, not to kill your parents, not to make bad your parents. They are, but if you are without control, you will commit maybe barbarous things. They are executioners and the victims who can still be hated in spirit, but who don't recognize themselves because they are disguised on the new physical bodies. However, during the alcoholic disruption between members of the same kinship, their spirits can be warned in their psychic memory, because the perispirit floats partially in the intoxicated body, increasing their perception in the astral environment. Thus, although family members don't recognize each other as the old adversaries, they feel the influence of the same hatred and reciprocal guilt of the past rise. You don't recognize your enemy in your member of your family, but those bad feelings from the past are alive in you. And in this moment, with alcoholism, without control, and only feeling those feelings of the past, contrary, you turn this a good family, you will transform this again in a tragedy. And though will resolve your problem, it will take your problem in normal, so much serious than in past. Cause the alcoholism It's a psychic emergence whose origin Freud would attribute it to the ID, that is, to the unconscious in constant struggle to reach the conscious ego. But in truth, it's the previous spiritual memory and accumulated in us finite millennia, which replaces among the diverse souls. In how many of their alcoholic bodies become dangerously influential, the evil suggestion, because we have this, of the evil doors of the shadows who diabolically lead them to hateful personal deforestation. It's not uncommon that after you said to the drunkenness that obscures reason and leads the individual to practice nefarious crime in his own family, whether driven by the adverse evocation of the past, either by a perverse investigation of the afterlife. The unfortunate criminal even commits suicide before the remorse of his act, for not knowing the true reason that led him to such madness. Will be a great conflict. Reality, I kill my wife, I kill my son, I kill my daughter. Why I make this? But the reason are in the past. Because the feeling of what happened in the past are present, not the memory who they are, no, but the feeling against them. And it's necessary to know this. Our family is here we transform this relation in good things to erase the bad past that make it bad to me and make bad to them. Is a chance that God gave us to reconciliate each other and not to kill each other. And this happened because reflects of the past, because alcoholism, the spirit inside our conscience, they let free what would be controlled by unconscious, not conscious with alcoholism. See how bad is this addiction. It's the same you take a medicine to open your unconscious without have prepared to this. All this should be a reason for earthlings to reflect of the danger of alcoholism, which unfortunately becomes a terrible scourge, particularly responsible for the delay of your humanity. Auspices. Auspices, penitentiaries, and asylums of all kinds can demonstrate this through the run sheet of their inmates that two-third part of them were addicted to alcohol. Due to the constant increase in alcohol addiction, which decimates these honor skills, your air looks like the world of crazy people who unravel every moment To see this, remember the large number of car accidents caused by alcohol abuse, resulting in an increasing more and more the number of disastrous accidents, deaths, and misfortunes, and irremediable. Other question. In your opinion, what would be the most efficient means to reduce such a high quota of alcohol consumption, which increases incessantly and threatens the integrity of our human race? Currently, the whiskey fashion spreads rampantly through all cabarets, dancing, nightclubs. This book was from 1959. It's not from now. It's from more or less 4 years ago. More or less. Dancing, nightclubs, and even in homes as a sign of distinction in all ceremonies and worldly festivities. What do you say? Ercilima is questioning that only in families, in house of families, have a place to alcohol, saying unconsciously to children, you can drink too, because it's open the bar in houses. The answer to the question of Ercilio about how is the good mean to stop alcoholism. They answer, we are forced to step on the old concept that any man's vices can only be overcome by man himself. Himself only. Liberation must begin from the inside out and not through external recommendations, of course. Because this I read, Ramatis, because he showed the root of the problem in the spiritual world. No one will that. How much you have an addiction of drink or cigarette or drugs, you will continue this way in another plan. So much severus will to addiction. We must try, don't have importance your age, you must try urgently stop addiction. Because when you were there without this body that protect all nervous system, you still don't are feeling the great pain that will happen without this body. This body are limited your pain. But there you will be in live meat, and you will see the fire through your veins and arteries with a great agony that Ramatis said that can put this suffering in words. Pay attention. And more the fact all addictions are broken inside your spiritual body. And you, when will rebirth, because all of us in evolution will rebirth various times for various centuries. How much you make this with your body inside, how much you will have a destructed body here. What you think is the motive? I don't think to you post the finger, say, oh, he was a drug addict, he was, no. No one can judge, no one. Because in middle of people that don't have a normal body, have missionaries. And have missionaries that came this way to wake up his parents, attached absolutely material world. Material world pass and addiction will be inside you because you provoke this. Addiction from food is the same. Addiction from alcohol, smoking, drugs. All this is only a motive to run from our responsibility. No one run. Contrary this, addiction will turn enormous your suffering, and you will return with more suffering than today. It's contrary the process. People imagine, oh, addiction left me so good, I forget all if I use without stop. And this as are finish our body inside. Someone he born with sick and skins, sick and mind, sick and tools of respiration, sick and body. And then I will wait a minute because a person needs some. Aqui, agora eu tô ocupada. Eu tô fazendo uma live.
Ah, beleza. Depois a gente...
Você conseguiu lá?
Eu consegui.
Ah, então tá bom. Ah, legal.
Mas era sobre outra coisa.
Ah, tá bom. Uhum. Then, continue. The clarification on the terrible dangers of alcoholism should start from the bottom of the home itself, spread until then through school and by all religious and education institutions in the world, here reaching all sectors of human activities. Before the child becomes literate, he should really learn to hate and repel alcohol as a dangerous drink. Any creed, religion, or spiritualist who is also dedicated to fighting alcoholism, there is no doubt that he will contribute to solving one of the biggest problems in your orb. Only ruled habits can provide peoples with the indispensable virtues that they guarantee spiritual greatness and enhancement among the superior nations of the material world. Temperance is a matter of understanding. It's then up to the majors of your orb to explain how harmful alcoholism is, which becomes the most terrible enemy of man because it degrades it physically, psychically, and spiritually. Just as counter espionage is done in your world, it will also be necessary to create a healthy mentality capable of neutralizing the dazzling and ostentatiousness of alcohol, which the greed industry carries out as an execrable suggestion for the youth to have. in the surreptitious invitation to infamous addiction. Only a tenacious decision and the unconditional union of all understanding men can fight alcoholism, the greatest enemy of man in all scientific, artistic, educational, and religious sectors. Human life is the most precious stage that the discarnate spirit needs to reach the favorable conditions that allow it to inhabit the happy worlds and live among fortunate humanities. Consequently, when incarnated, it is up to him to avoid alcohol in any way possible in order not to squander the valuable heritage of physical life. Immunization against alcoholism not only prevents the spirit from delaying its learning so necessary for its briefest happiness, but also the book of the cruel misfortunes and tortures of the afterlife. Moral reform, concern from spirituality, physical care, evangelical education, and even the habit of healthy eating can provide men with a psychological metabolism so harmonious. Despise alcohol because it doesn't seem like artificial stimuli to live. This addiction almost always is due to psychic excitement, eccentricity, and nutritious Epicureanism. In the Holy Bible, it's written, don't want to find yourself in the banquets of the great drinkers. And more the following, don't look at the wine when it begins to appear to you laurel. He enters in your mind, but in the end he will bite like a snake and spread his poison like a basilic. Unfortunately, modern families are getting used to maintaining their homes with the famous bar, or of alcoholic varieties, which well portrays the apocalyptic spirit of the time. This creates an unfortunate opportunity to encourage the descendants very early onto the dangers of alcoholism, accustoming them to depressing addiction, because the example of the parents is evident permission for their children to do the same. I was remember now, my father only drank normal temperature, water in normal temperature. Me too, I don't like so much. Ice water, I don't like so much. And my brothers gave various parties in house of my father's. And until now I remember how types of caipirinha, a drink in Brazil, how types I learned to make, and they made every party. And no one transformed in alcoholics, no, but have still this custom. And here we must remember that a person don't know if he is a body of alcoholism until he drink a bit. Alcoholism is not a people that will take so great quantity of alcohol, no. It will be desperate in person with a bit. I knew various alcoholisms meant, and with a bit they transformed totally how was drunk all bottle, and continue drink without stop. Drink, 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 drink until be in floor. This is the alcoholism. People start only a bit, and this bit dispersed in her the alcoholism that are inside his body, probably from other lives. If this type can never drink a bit, because the process it will be so difficult to this person stop. And imagine you have 3 children, one of them are alcoholics, have this tendency, and you let the bar open to these children. Not how children, but they will make this hiding. And now, and then maybe dispersed in what would not be dispersed. Because if this alcoholic never drink, never he will be in floor with alcoholism. Because this is dangerous. Have drinks open in a house. Principally if I have children inside this house. In the past, it was more difficult for addicted spirits because they are vampires, addicted spirits. Then, the famous bar of alcoholic varieties, which well portrays the apocalyptic spirit of the time, this creates an unfortunate opportunity to encourage the descendants very early on to the danger of alcoholism, accustoming them to the pressing addiction, because the example of the parents is evident permission for their children to do the same. In my house, don't have bar. My father don't drink, my mother don't drink. But my brothers, yes. And must saw this in various parts, because my brother had a group of the rock music. But I know today they don't transform it in alcoholic persons. Not me, not my sister. But I remember my father don't drink. Alcoholic never, only water in normal temperature. I saw this all my life with my father and my mother, not to, and don't have bar inside our house. In the past, it was more difficult for addicted spirits from the afterlife to lead the head of the home to the bodega and make the family drink alcohol. In past was difficult. Spirits, bad spirits, and addicted spirits make this. In past was difficult. Today they say, Ramatis, they say that are not difficult. To lead the head of the home to the bodega and make the family drink alcohol in past was difficult. But in the atomic century, where there is such a hurry for scientific discoveries as to refine addictions, not only the newspaper and radio stations make intense alcohol advertising, but also show colorful posters and distributed, they invite the people to ingest the most varied types of alcoholics. There is no doubt that the jubilation and success of the spirits of the lower astral increase because, protected by this recklessness of the inhabitants of your orb, they no longer find it difficult to make fire to their common passions. The members of human kinship or on constant alcoholic libations can be easily influenced by the lower astral issues of some importance, can irritate them and break their fluid defenses. The addiction to drinking, as the saying goes, is just beginning. In those times, Ramatis said this in 1959, not now, and 60 years ago. Unfortunate humanity that instead of starting a violent offensive to its greatest scourge, alcohol, still makes it official even within its own family, bringing it under lamentable imprudence to the friendly soul of its own home. Unfortunately, the alcohol is liberated in his own home, and maybe in future the drugs, and maybe drugs in other lands are free inside the house. And richest houses, the drugs is free. Then this is the cause, unfortunately. This is the destruction of ties of the family. This is a destruction of integrity of human being that never liked it to go with a person with the same sex. But with drugs, it disappears and it starts to make sex with persons with the same sex, transforming his body inside. And in another reincarnation, this transformation that you shocked your body with drugs will appear. You will be feeling how a man inside a body of a woman, because your intelligence transformed this shock in a new transformation of your body, and you don't know make with these transformations. Only spiritual high spirits know, but you are trying to make this without know. You are transforming your body without preparation. We are modifying programs in computer without know this, without know what we are making. Only to we want experience no necessity experiences to have. In control, the human being start to learn inside himself, they start to accept degradation. And this degradation will transform your unconscious with stimulus we are given, retiring the equilibrium with drugs, with alcoholism, and don't see more difference. Women and men, and women go to woman, men go to men, and will transform it. Internal psychism that we don't know, and your body starts to think, oh, he is a man, but you are a woman with your other woman. And then woman, oh, he is a woman, because you gone have a woman with other men. Your psychism will grave this, and cause this you will reborn. When you reboot the transformation you made without know, you will be inside a body that don't correspond what you are, what you are feeling. And don't come to me say this is good. I know this is not good. I have feelings of a woman in a male body. You can say to me that this is good. And don't put the culpability in society. Don't put culpability in God. We must accept the differences and experiences we wanted making past. We must accept this and be happy that we are learning. We are living the way we choose in past. God don't make these changes that will make suffer a spirit. God don't make this. Sorry. We must accept the changes we made in past for our choose. Only because our choose we are this way. And the future, it will better. Because God ever let his sons and daughters learn with his own experience. This is good. This is good. This way we must evolve. Oh, I make this. I make this cake with this. I don't like the taste. I will change. And then we will learn to make the taste we will have happiness. Because God only have us with happiness. Not with sex, not to addiction, not to change our body, nothing this. How can I think that I can transform this program in PC if I don't understand nothing of programmation? I don't can. When I have problems in PC, I take this to a person that can change this without broken the system. If you start to make modifications in certain circumstances, the responsibility will go upon us. On other type of person, this will return to us only. Then we must understand that we don't can choose what we don't know. One day we'll have this capability. But now we only know what? 20% of our mind is this, or less of this. Then we must think a million of times before try experiences. For what who don't have will have control. The result of this. What things we shocked in us, not in other, in us. Jesus Christ said, take care with scandals. Scandal. He turned to me, not to other. Forget. God this to us. Take care with your own scandal. But scandal is necessary. Experience to learn is necessary. And we don't have the right to revolt after this with God, with mother and father, with society. No, sorry. We construct our present and our future we construct now. Is this. And God ever will give us infinity chances, infinity possibilities. See how God is marvelous. See how God is abundance. And we, in all situations, we must have happiness. Don't have importance. Happiness. We must have happiness in all circumstances, because God ever will give us new chances. This is the consolator. And have a good final week, I desire to you. And God bless all of us. Today, more 20 minutes, start the reunion in Brazil. If you need to ask something, be in prayer, okay? At more or less 20 minutes in your room, reading something about Christ, and ask what you need. Don't have importance what you need, what you ask. You will receive if for good to you, God will take to you. If not good to you what you will ask, they will show to you a thing that will be more interesting to you. Until the next, thank you, your presence. Ever, your presence is so important.